This is the OM-5 from OM System that used to be Olympus. It's their first camera they branded with OM System, and on the outside, well, it looks very familiar to its predecessor, the Olympus E-M1 Mark III. It's the kind of camera that if you are a photographer and also have a hobby that gets you out and about, it's great for popping in your bag and taking with you. And that's exactly what we did on a little trip to Somerset, where I didn't want to take a lot of equipment. I wanted to travel light. Inside, they've made a few changes. Let's start with the weather sealing. So if you're the kind of photographer who goes out in wet weather, in dusty weather, in cold weather, the OM-5 has an IP53 rating, which makes it perfect for all of those conditions. In fact, that's the same as its bigger brother, and many of the bigger brother features have trickled down into the smaller OM-5. You're going to find things like Starry Sky AF, which is really good if you're an astrophotographer for getting stars pin sharp at the press of a button, something that's much harder to do than you might imagine. But then there are some other features that are really designed to help you travel light with this camera by getting rid of some of your equipment, like, let's say, a tripod, because this camera has high-res mode. Now, the camera previously had high-res mode, which is where it moves the sensor half a pixel to create a multiple image stacked together to make a 50 megapixel image from the 20 megapixel sensor. Handheld high-res takes that a stage further because you don't need a tripod. It'll do all that handheld with image stabilization, and the results are fantastic. And then there is Live ND, which simulates the effect of an ND filter, giving a long exposure. The OM-5 has ND16 built in, which is 4 stops of extra exposure. It works on still images only rather than video, but the results are really nice. Speaking of video, the OM-5 has some good video features. There's things like 4K 30, it'll do 120 frames per second, slow-mo and full HD. That's all lovely, but the big change really is vertical video. Now, that effectively means that if you turn your camera on its side and start your video now, it'll record it vertically. And I know what you're thinking, isn't it going to do that anyway? But it plays it back vertically as well. Effectively, the camera rotates the video internally, so when you watch it back on a phone or a computer, it's automatically rotated, so you can pop these straight onto your social media without having to do any other work. It's a nice little feature and something I actually found quite useful. For my little trip to the West Country, I only took 2 lenses. I took my standard 12 to 40mm and my 8mm fisheye, which actually is also an 8mm wide angle lens, because this camera can de-fisheye lenses directly in the camera body. Now, it could do that before, but I had to dive into the menu to find it. Luckily, with the OM-5, they've brought in the new My Menu feature, which means that you can select menu items like removing fisheye and put them somewhere nice and handy and easy to find. Thank you very much, OM System. The camera uses a lot of the same features as its predecessor, so it has the same battery, it is the same physical size, it weighs about 400 grams, which is less than a pound. The whole thing is really small and compact, which makes it an ideal second camera, or indeed a portable camera for anybody who likes to travel seriously light. So there it is, the OM-5 from OM System. It's available for pre-order right now. Use the links below. I'm Gavin Hoey. Thanks for watching.